This morning, breaking news, a Melbourne crime boss gunned down at his home west of the CBD. Pauline's new push to access your superannuation early. Pressure on states and territories to follow New South Wales in the landmark gun buyback scheme. And Aussie TV's Night of Nights will bring you all the glitz and glam from the Logies right here on the Sunrise Early News.
Live across Australia, this is Sunrise Early News.
Good morning. We start with breaking news this morning. A Melbourne underworld crime figure is right now fighting for life in hospital after he was gunned down in a suspected gangland ambush southwest of the CBD. Emergency services were called to Marigold Avenue and Altona North just before 8 p.m. after 48-year-old Fadi Hadara was targeted in the gangland shooting while sitting in a vehicle. It's understood Mr Hadara is the main rival of underworld identity and tobacco kingpin Kazim Hamad. Struggling Australians may be able to dip into their super fund early under a new push from One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. Let's go out to Josh Martin in Canberra. Josh, morning to you. What is she suggesting?
Nation leader has caused a bit of confusion over the weekend with her comments. First, people thought she may be calling for an end to compulsory super. Pauline Hanson has clarified on social media she just wants Australians to be able to access your super money earlier for things like medical bills and mortgage payments. The Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, has declared the next election will be a referendum on super. Of course, Labor started the superannuation scheme under Prime Minister Paul Keating and they'll defend it to the last. The opposition, on the other hand, their shadow treasurer, Tim Wilson, has been a long-term critic of compulsory super, though the coalition is yet to formalise a policy position. So this will be an interesting battle as we head towards that 2028 poll, Eddie.
It certainly will. Thank you, Josh. Well, 4 people are now in custody after an armed home invasion in Sydney's southwest overnight. 3 armed teenage boys aged between 16 and 17 years old, as well as an 18-year-old, are accused of forcing their way into a home on Green Avenue in Smithfield just before 11 o'clock last night. A man's been left with serious head injuries after a brazen e-scooter robbery in Adelaide. The victim was pushed from his ride, his attackers speeding off on a stolen scooter.
An attack over in just seconds. Riding along Harvey Road, the victim had no warning.
He's got pushed off, hit, and then he's fell off, had blood come out his nose, his head, was unconscious. His
alleged attacker seemingly waiting for him before pushing him from his e-scooter. The 55-year-old crashing head first onto the road, the impact knocking him unconscious.
He was knocked out by the time I got there. His face was full of blood. It was horrible.
I thought he was dead, but it kind of scared me a bit.
The attacker then taking off on the stolen scooter, heading south along Harvey Road.
I said, you should be ashamed of yourself, you're disgusting.
Paramedics rushed to his aid just before 1 p.m. The Woodcroft man taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening head injuries. Police say the victim was wearing a helmet, potentially saving him from even more serious injuries. Locals are furious at the brazen attack and want the offender caught.
It's disgusting and scary, especially when there's kids around.
It's disgusting and sickening. So, yeah, no, it's not right at all.
Witnesses describe the suspect as a man in his 20s with a dark complexion and curly black hair, dressed in black. Jonathan Edwards, 7 News.
There's growing pressure on states and territories to follow suit as New South Wales rolls out the largest gun buyback in decades in the wake of the deadly Bondi terror attack. The scheme will be finalised in coming days. From November 2, gun owners will be compensated if they own more guns than they're allowed or have weapons they can no longer own. It's estimated up to 274,000 weapons will be handed in by around 50,000 firearm holders. Brisbane ferry commuters will face more disruptions today, with unions ramping up their demands for better pay and working conditions. Workers will again walk off the job, with no services running between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. today and between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Ferry services for southern Moreton Bay Island will not be affected. Employees of River City Ferries also walked off the job on Saturday. Australia's biggest TV stars have stepped out for the biggest industry evening, the 2026 Logie Awards. First-time Logie winner Robert Irwin made history as the youngest to ever host the prestigious awards. Channel 7's own Sunrise and 7 News team were recognised for their efforts in reporting on the Bondi terror attack. receiving the award for Best News Coverage or Public Affairs Report.
Bondi showed us the very worst of terror, but it also showed us the very best of Australia, and that is what gives us hope.
Sam Pang won the top gong for most popular personality, the Gold Logie, while silver screen legend Sam Neill was honoured posthumously with the award for Best Lead Actor in a Drama. We're checking the weather now. Brisbane shower 2 and 22, Sydney shower 2 and 19, Canberra cloudy and 16, Melbourne morning fog then mostly sunny and 17, Hobart partly cloudy 15 degrees, Adelaide possible shower and 18, Perth showers and 20 and Darwin sunny and 33. We'll sort of come on the Sunrise Early News. Hurricane Lala batters Hawaii as it continues barrelling west. And a European museum heist. A thief makes off with irreplaceable artworks in Italy. That's next on the Sunrise Early News.